Hello viewer, welcome back to 54A. I said I wasn't going to do anything else with pencils. Silly me. The response I've had from the pencil bowl that I did a while ago, absolutely amazing. I've just looked and I usually get a good few hundred views on each video I do. Some people comment, some people don't. Fine. But this pencil bowl, it's had like getting on for 15,000 views on it. And I'm still getting questions about it now. So, it just proves how mad I am. I'm going to have a go at another pencil project. But it's not going to be entirely pencils. I'm going to try and make a segmented bowl, which should be pretty standard, but the feature ring in it will be a segmented pencil ring. Now I haven't done any segmenting with pencils before, but this one I'm going to give it a go. So I'll show you what I've done. Not a lot. Right, as you can see, excuse me, that's it. I've cut 4 different coloured pencils into each pencil. It's gone into 4 because I want to make a long strip that I can cut the segments out of, the same as any other strip of wood when you're segmenting. Didn't take long actually, just put a bundle of them on the bandsaw and whop them through. Now just started gluing. Now I've said this before and I'll say it again, your first few pencils have got to be absolutely spot on. Glue them, keep them flat, keep them tight in. That's your building block for the rest of the things you're going to glue onto it. Once you've got a good base, you should be able to build onto it and everything will stay nice and square without any gaps, hopefully. The reason I'm going to do a segmented one is the other bowl I did, just get a pencil to show you, was a standard pencil. When it was cut round on 2 sides of the bowl, you'd actually see the length of the pencil, and not round the other end you'd see the ends of the pencil, if you know what I mean. I can't show you the bowl now because one of my relatives has nicked it. But this one, of course, being a segmented, you'll just see the ends of the pencil all the way around the bowl. It's something a bit different. When it's all done together, sort of 4 high, I might even go 5 high yet, because I'm going to have to sand the top and bottom edges off, so the ordinary segmented rings will fit nicely. So I've got to get on with all that gluing now. So like I said, I must be a bit balmy, but the response has been that brilliant. I've just got to do something else with pencils, and it's really great that people have shown an interest in this. I thought it was just a bit of a balmy project to do, but it seems a lot of people like it. So as you can see, I've got a lot of gluing to do. You've seen it all before. I just make sure your first few are absolutely spot on, and it should be fairly straightforward. I'm keeping the colours all in lines this time instead of anyhow, and should be quite a nice effect when it's done. So I shall see you much later. Bye for now. Right, I think that's about it. I've put an extra layer on. I decided that the 4 wasn't enough, because, as I say, the top and the bottom of this has got to be flattened, so you're going to lose a third of the thickness of the pencils on each on the top and the bottom. So the next stage is to sand this down flat on all 4 sides. the top and the bottom because, just to give it the effect, I'm going to sandwich it in between two pieces of wood, like so. Haven't decided what wood to use yet. This is just a couple of pieces of beech I've got. It might even be thinner than this yet. I'm just winging it as usual. So they've got to be nice and flat on the top and the bottom, and the sides have got to be nice and flat as well, because when I put it in the mitre sled, you want a nice flat edge to put against the stop, otherwise your angles are going to be out. I think I might cut these on the bandsaw. I haven't decided yet. It's a more gentle cut than the mitre saw or the sleds, the table saw. But once it's got these on, it might make a difference, it strengthen it up a bit. But we'll see. First job is to sand this all down and then sandwich it between two pieces of wood. So that's the next stage. Okay, I've started sanding it down. This is just a homemade disc sander that I put on my lathe, and a little table that is 90 degrees to the disc. Keep your extractor on if you've got one. There's a lot of dust comes off these. It's nearly done on the one side. Just take your time again, get it nice and flat, and away you go. It'll only take about 5-10 minutes each side. It's nothing out of your life really, is it? And you don't want any gaps, you see, otherwise it's going to look awful. I'm just going to carry on with that for a few minutes now, finish this off, and on to the next stage. Right, I've decided to go with the beech. I haven't took it any thinner. I'm going to wait till it's glued on there, then I'll plane it down afterwards. Haven't got a piece long enough, so I've had to put a join in it. I'm not too bothered about that, it's going to be segmented anyway. Use plenty of clamps as usual, and away you go. See you later. Right, I've got the other piece on there, so there's one on the top, one on the bottom. I've also cut two pieces of walnut thin to go on top of those as well. While that's all drying, I've just made a little jig for the bandsaw. This is out of my circle cutting jig, and I've just adapted it basically. So I've got the nice sliding bed, just got a piece of oak that I had. I've pinned it at the 3-inch, doesn't matter where you pin it really, just for a pivot, and for another pin, that hole is for 90 degrees. It's set now at 18 degrees, and I've done another one in there that's set at 22.5 degrees. So that gives me 22.5 degrees will give me an 8 segment ring, 18 degrees will give me a 10 segment ring. I've just tested it on a bit of wood and it works fine. So as long as you've got a decent blade in there, quite a thick blade, wide blade, you should be able to get some nice little angled cuts on that without much trouble. I'm going to give it a go anyway. So that's another little item that's clogging up my workshop. Okay, got the segments cut. They seem to work on the bandsaw quite nice actually, got a nice cut on it. And it's just a question of usual segmenting stuff. Glue them together. Now I tend to glue them in pairs and then glue the pairs together, etc. So put a good amount of glue on. I just use my finger to rub it all over the place. And then get your second segment. Just make sure the pencils are nicely lined up. doesn't matter so much about the top and the bottom if there's a variation in the thickness slightly, because you've got to sand it down anyway. So just rub it together, you'll feel the friction, and then it starts to bite, starts to grab, and that's a pair done basically. So just do that, clamp it all together with the good old hose clamps, and there you go. See you later. Right, while that's setting, gluing, I've decided the very base of the bowl is going to be walnut. Now I never had a piece wide enough, so I've got 4 pieces, 45 degrees, and I'm going to make a little square out of those. That'll be rounded off and that'll be the base. And then you get some little offcuts. Now if you're doing a lot of segmented stuff, don't throw your offcuts away, because I shall glue those together and put them to one side on the shelf somewhere, and that will come in handy for something, base of a vase or something like that. So it's too good to throw away, so I shall make use of that as well. So I'll just get these glued up now, and then cut the segments for the top and bottom ring, which are going to be cherry. So I'll have the light, dark, and then light again cherry, and then light again cherry on that side, and then the base. Okay. Right, I've got the mitre saw set up to 18 degrees. I've made this little jig ages ago with various degree cuts on it. Just put a little stop there, up against it. I've cut a few already, little segments, as you can see. Not much to say really, except for when you're cutting, as soon as you finish cutting, let the blade stop before you lift it, otherwise there's a chance that it can jump out. And make sure your fingers are well clear. A very quick little tip: when you're using your mitre saw, just make sure before you do the next cut there's no pieces of saw shavings in there whatsoever. The slightest piece in there can throw the angle out. Pretty standard segmenting stuff now. Give it a dry run first. If you're not sure at all, if there's a little gap, it doesn't matter. Do it in the 2 halves. Just so happens I've got some pencil offcuts here. Put a couple of spaces in each side, like so. Clamp it together. When the 2 halves are dry, just touch it on the sander till they both meet up perfectly. So there's no problem if you're a little bit out. And I usually am the fraction out. It's very rare I get it exactly spot on, but that's the way it goes. I'm not bothered about that. Now apparently somebody started doing segmented kits where you buy the pieces already cut into segments. Fair play if that's what they want to do. I can't really see the point in it myself. It's like half making something, isn't it? The pleasure of doing this kind of work is to do it from the beginning. Getting it right is a great feeling. A little bit of fettling here and there, it doesn't matter as long as you've got the finished product. So it's like buying something already half done. Have a go. It's not as hard as it makes out. It's a bit fiddly, yeah, but you know, as long as you've got your basic measurements right, you won't go far wrong. Right, this is a little base that I glued together, the 4 pieces. That's all set now, so I'm going to glue it onto a glue chuck. I'm just waiting for the glue gun to heat up nice and hot. It's all set up in the lathe with the tailstock holding it nicely. So I'll put a bead of glue around there, let it cool off, and that will enable me to put a mortise in this end, and then I'll round it off, and that'll be the very foot of the bowl. Okay, I've turned the mortise, got it off the glue chuck, Turned it round now, got it in the jaws of the chuck, and I've just got to clean this glue off that's on there and take a little bit more off. There's a little bit of an indent there, so I'll get rid of that. That'll be the foot of the bowl. Just a little bit more to do, and that's that ready. I've got this in the jaws of the chuck now, and I put the base in a few hours ago. Instead of just fitting it on the surface here, I actually took some out of the base and made like a big mortise and sort of used the base as a plug. Now this has given me a bit of extra glue strength. Instead of just gluing on the flat, it's glued on the side, on the inside as well. So hopefully that'll give me a nice strong grip when I turn it round into the jaws of my chuck now. And I'm just going to polish, sand and polish this base up. Maybe put a bit of shape on here before I turn it round and finish the whole thing off. Okay, I've sanded and polished the base, and I'm just taking the corners off before I turn it round, just in case it's a bit awkward to get in with the chuck in the way. So that's all I'm doing. I'm using my spindle gouge, really gentle cut. I'm hardly touching it. As long as you keep your tools nice and sharp, it makes life a lot easier. Just gentle scraping cuts with the side of the tool. Just what I want to do, just knock that like this, knock the corners off. Now I'll just give that a bit of a sand on that edge there, then I'll turn the whole thing round. That's it, just sanded and polished right around this edge here, this very bottom. If you think the job through, that you think of places that might just be that bit awkward to get at once you've got the object in the chuck, then finish it off and polish it. You haven't got to worry about trying to finish it off by hand then, when you can't spin it round because you can't remount it in the lathe. So just a little bit of forethought, just finish that off. I may be able to get there, I don't know. Best to do it, then you haven't got to worry about it. Right, I'll get it turned round. Here we go. Round nose scraper, that's all I'm using at the moment. For all the beginners, I know most of you must know this already, but it seems pretty obvious. Keep your tools sharp. You get lovely ribbons of shavings coming off then. If you've got a dull tool, all you're going to get is dust and a lot of unwanted effort. It only takes a few seconds just to touch the edge up. You can even use a diamond card every now and again, just touch it up, keep it sharp. It makes life a lot easier. Just going onto a square tipped carbide cutter now. Don't feel you've got to go and rush out and buy a square tip carbide cutter. I mean, you use any tool that suits you. I might go on to my spindle gouge in a minute. That's better. I can actually see inside better now. I've got a bit of that taken away. Okay, just going to carry on shaping. I'll do a bit on the outside. Keep your tool rest nice and close. Coming along nicely now. Actually, it's not the actual pencils that will take it out, it's of your tools, it's the super glue that holds them all together. Rock hard that stuff is. I found for doing the inside, this little round carbide cutter does a really nice job. You can get right in there. I'm sorry the camera can't get right in there. I'll try and change the angle. Hang on a minute. I'll just put a little bit of extra light on. I think you might be able to pick that up now. But as you can see, with the little round carbide cutter, you get the transition from the sides to the base, nice and curved. So that's quite a nice finish on that now already. So I'm just going to carry on scraping with that same cutter until I've got a nice finish on the inside. Now another little thing, every now and again with a pencil project you will see, hang on, find one, the leads, well they're not actually leads are they nowadays, it's coloured whatever, some of them will start popping out. One there, one there. Don't be put off. Another one starting, another couple. There's a blue one there starting to come out. So just press them back in and just do them one at a time, because once you've pressed them back in, do a little drop of super glue. They won't come out again then. Another one there, pop it back in, little drop of super glue on, that's it, another one there, pop it in, just a drop of super glue. And as you're scraping the inside, you're going to get another one or two popping out, but just do the same thing. It only takes a minute, and at least you know they won't pop out again. You probably get others popping out, but by the time you finish you've probably super glued every one of them. Alright, I've got the inside more or less as I want it now. I'm not going to go too far. I'm going to put a bit more shape now on the outside of the bowl itself. I want it quite wide at the bottom and just going in a bit like a brandy glass shape, I think, but not quite as severe as that. Well, that's what I've got in my head anyway. It'll probably turn out totally different knowing me. I'm still carrying on with this little round carbide cutter at the moment. It's a great little tool and it seems to be doing a nice job. you will get absolutely covered in different coloured dust. So if you're anything of an actor, I should go and audition for a part in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, because that's what you'll look like at the end of doing one of these if you don't stand out the way. Well, Sheila's just very kindly bought me yet another cup of coffee in, so I'm going to have a little break now. And she also bought me the post. Now, I only ordered this yesterday from Axminster, and I'll show you what it is. Got a set of 3 diamond cards on the little leather key fob with Axminster on it, and a little wallet. Each one's got its own little wallet. There's the fine, extra fine, and the coarse. Now, ideal. I mean, I've got 1 diamond card which I paid quite a bit of money for. Can't remember exactly how much it was now, but still. These 3 are on offer at Axminster. I think they're about 14 or 15 quid, something like that, for the set of 3. So I should be well set up now, keeping the tools honed very nicely. And of course, again, rapid delivery from Axminster, especially this time of year. It is actually Christmas Eve today. So excellent, chuffed to bits for them. I shall look forward to using those a bit later on. Right, cheers everybody. Hello darling, have you finished that bowl yet?
Hello darling, I'm just finishing this last bit.
Oh, you haven't polished it then? Can I polish it?
Well, if you really want to.
Well, you know, I've done a couple before, and you know, you've let me do it before, so.
Well, if you're sure.
Yes, please, I'd like to finish it off.
Okay, then I'll let you do that then. You got that camera on?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, I'll edit it out, they'll never know it's you that does all the turning. I'll just edit it out so it looks like I've done it again.
Okay then, I'll let you carry on.
Thank you. And there it is. Little segmented pencil bowl, little walnut base in it. And I think Sheila's made, I think I've made a nice job of that actually. That's come out quite good. It's nice to see the ends of the pencils all the way around. It was worth doing that segmenting. And it's used up a few more pencils. So that's it folks. Many thanks for watching yet again. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this one. There are a lot worse things than making things out of bits of wood. I mean, I could be a bus driver, you know. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you all soon. Take care now. Bye.